What's up, beautiful people? It is the last 30 days of the year, or the last 10, whatever time you're watching this video, and it honestly doesn't even matter what year. Today we're going to talk about why this is so important before you even start to think about a single goal. And you are going to answer this very pivotal and critical question. What if you're setting goals for a life that you've forgotten how to love? Yeah. What about if the goals that you're setting, the hopes, the aspirations, and all of those things are really just escapism from your current reality because you have fallen out of love with the life that you have, or you may have never even been in love with it in the first place. And you think that if you have these goals, you accomplish these things, that somehow the euphoria that you've been chasing, the balance that you've been chasing is all of a sudden going to make you happy. And so that's why today we're going to get gut check and really look at our life. We're going to learn how to fall in love with our current circumstances, and we're going to learn to appreciate where we are. And I don't mean the highlight reel version of your life that is on Facebook and Instagram and front facing for the world to see. I'm talking about the whole life that you are currently living. So when your goals become escapes and not celebrations of the person that you actually are, it is really underwhelming when you actually hit a goal and reach a goal, because it really wasn't the goal that defined your happiness in the first place. You've been running on autopilot, you've been checking boxes, and I'm proud of you because you have really accomplished some things this year. We're not going to spend December lamenting on what we said we were going to do in January. We're going to celebrate the things that we actually accomplished. So just stop, pause, think for the next 10 seconds. What's something that I actually did? And I don't mean that you even did it in completion. Maybe you actually did more exercising than you did from the previous year. Maybe you ate a little bit healthier this year. Maybe you started 75 days of 75 soft and didn't do the whole thing, but you did 30. Maybe you read 2 books and that's 2 more books than you read last year. Maybe you finally went and asked for that raise. Maybe you looked for the job. Maybe you did a lot of things. It doesn't have to be major things. Maybe you said no to that cupcake. It could be that small. So we're going to spend the next anywhere from 30 days to 14 days, however the time frame is works for you. And I'm going to give you 4 things to do, not 4 things all at once, but 4 things to do as we finish out the year. So for this first week, what I really want you to do is I want you to stop and pause, and I want you to take notice of the things that you actually enjoy. Not the things that you think you should enjoy, the things that you actually enjoy. If you actually enjoy running and it brings you joy, then appreciate that. But if you think you should enjoy running and it makes you want to just cringe, absolutely not. You may like a certain kind of music and you maybe not are fitting the mold that your friends listen to. Doesn't matter. I just want you to take inventory, take out your phone, get your notes app out, or write it down on a piece of paper, just something that you enjoy. I'm going to tell you something that I enjoy. I enjoy quiet, like I do. And I want to be this person that's super social. I want to be this person that loves a house full of people, but my breaking point is about 3 days, and then my social battery taps out. And as much as I think I want to have a house full of people for 2 and 3 weeks at a time, that is not true. So I like quiet, and right now it's quiet. As a matter of fact, Mr. Bacon is actually going back to school with my daughter for the next 3 weeks. So it's about to be super quiet. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to like it that quiet, but that's something that I like. So that's something that I immediately take notice is solitude. So think about the things that you enjoy and take inventory of them, because they're going to be really important as we come back and we talk about how to close out the year in about 3 weeks when I upload the video on how to plan for 2026. Second week, and this is going to be so hard, but that's why I'm putting it here because it's Christmas time, is show up for yourself the way that you show up for others. I really want you to think about yourself as another person that's not even you. You're going to show up for you the way you show up for others. And I don't mean show up the way that you would show for others the way you think you need to show up for them. I'm talking the way you need to show up for yourself. If that's moving your body, if that's drinking more water, if that's doing more experiences, if that's not stressing out about holidays and everything has to be perfect, or you feel like, oh my God, we have to spend all of this money in order for people to have experiences. No, you don't. I'm going to tell you right now, all 3 of my kids are grown, and when I think about sometimes some of the things that made them the happiest and cost $1. So as you get ready to think about this holiday season, that may be something that you need to release. But how you show up for yourself. And showing up for yourself, sis, does not mean that you go and take yourself on a lavish shopping spree. Doesn't mean you have to get on an airplane and fly to Italy. Show up for yourself can be in the little things. It could be doing yourself a facial. It could be making a new recipe. It could be turning off all the lights and actually hitting sleep goals for yourself for the next 2 to 3 days. It doesn't matter. Week 2, I want you to think about the things and show up for yourself the way you would show up for anybody else. Okay, so then week 3, this is going to be critical because it is really important that you spent the first week or a few days really pinpointing what you enjoyed. It's going to be even more important that second week that you actually showed up for yourself in the best way that you can. I'm giving you for permission. You don't need to show up for yourself the way I show up for me. You show up for yourself the way that you show up for you. You know what that looks like. You do. So then for week 3, you're going to write down what worked. You're going to write down, I actually enjoyed going to bed early. I actually showed up for myself and I did this. It is going to be whatever it is for you. I don't even want to get into specific examples because I don't want to define what you think that needs to look like for you. I'm just trying to give you enough examples to understand where to go with that. And I want you to write those things down. You don't need to have a list of 20 things. You may literally write down 3 things. These 3 things worked or I enjoyed over the last 3 weeks. Like small little baby step homework. And then, y'all, I wish I could grab your hands when I say this. Week 4, we're going to rest without guilt. We are going to not allow Christmas. We're not going to allow New Year's. We're not going to allow reflecting. We are going to rest without guilt. And when I say rest without guilt, I mean rest without to-do list. It is so mind-boggling to me how people get so wound up the last week of the year because they are so hyper-focused on planning for next year that they're really letting one of the most beautiful times of the year pass them by. And then you step into 2026 or whenever you're watching this video with that level of negative energy, which is so counterproductive to actually starting a year off the way that you wanted to. So why this is so important is because when goals come from a place of exhaustion, they create more exhaustion. And when you love your life the way it is, goals become enhancements. They don't become requirements. You cannot build a life that you love by constantly rejecting the one that you have. The energy you bring into 2026 matters more than anything else. So for the next 30 days, I want you to focus on the things that we talked about, not the things that you want to achieve. I want you to focus on how you feel. I want you to think about this journal prompt. And I'm looking at my notes over here to the side. What would it look like to fall in love with my life exactly as it is right now? That's a good one. How could I fall in love with myself? So I come on here and you guys that watch me know, because I feel like it still hasn't got to the point where it's healed, my hamstring. I'm actually going to the doctor for it and I cannot move as well as I did before and it's driving me nuts. But when I was on my walk this morning, I was thinking about, I could fall in love with the version of where you are right now. Because one thing I could tell you is because I'm not so fixated on what I'm doing physically, I'm a lot more locked in on my mental energy and my thoughts. And I'm thinking, how powerful will I become if I'm able to really hone in on my thoughts and my energy and that part of my physicality as my body is healing. And then it made me just pause and get excited and think about where God has us all in our continuum and in our journey. So I want you to give yourself permission to end this year softly and not frantically. As always, thank you all for watching. I look forward to all that you are getting ready to learn about yourself for the next 30 days before we start planning goals. And I will see you all in the next video.